Greetings and salutations in our distance. It is I, Wolfphototech, and here we are with another delightful video. This time I'm going to talk about Bestiary 3 for Pathfinder 2nd Edition and Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remaster. Because there's currently no monster book for Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remaster that replicates Bestiary 3, so it's that. This book, MSRP is for $50. It probably might be $60 in the future. It has the maroon inside to it. There is well over 300 monsters or opponents in this book. In every single one of these books, there's this generic page section in the front. I realize this is the contrast. They did the contrast color for the Pathfinder 2nd Edition to the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remaster. However, there is some poor choices in the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remaster with it using the contrast color. You got the table of contents right here. All the monsters are listed out in alphabetical order in the table of contents, but they are quasi-organized by type in some cases, which I personally don't care for unless you want to do that with every type of creature, and I'm not joking. After turn one too many pages. The next set of pages after the monsters is the introduction. It quickly explains how to use the book, the point of the book, and various important mechanics, how to read the character or creature stat blocks and their level and so forth. You have various important mechanics such as how to role play the creatures accurately, how to interpret important pieces of information. You got elite adjustments here to crank up the danger with a creature. You want to take a level 1 creature and you want to crank it up a little bit. It gives you little rules for that. If you have a level 5 creature and you want to stick it on a party of level 3 characters and you don't want it as hard, you have the weaker adjustments here as well. There's also a section on languages and gear as it relates to various creatures in this book, as well as skills, perceptions, and proficiencies, as well as a little key sidebar here about it. So the standard issue in this book is you have little sidebars that relate to the creatures in the book or the type of creature. You got the Abandoned Zealot and the Adlet. You have a nice variety of creatures throughout the different types and CRs. You'll have various spirits, undead, and so forth throughout the entire book. Every single creature in this book will have a piece of artwork that is related to it. So you can easily look at it and understand what you're running as a game master. For all these bestiaries, there will be also a card set that is tied to the bestiary itself, which also contains all the essential stat block information. None of the flavor text on the creature, though, but it will also have the artwork of the creature on that card as well. You have a nice variety of plant creatures, demons, devils, and so forth. Various fiends of types, humanoids, elementals, undead, and so forth in this book. So Paizo puts a great deal of effort to have a nice variety of opponents that you can run this in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, as well as a nice variety of levels of opponents. So you got good variety and you have good level range for all the opponents. And with the elite adjustment and the weak adjustment in the front of the book, you can easily adjust up or down to meet your needs. Now, I'm going to jump a bunch of pages and just randomly show you a few creatures. As I said, you have a nice variety of just straight up beasts and animals in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, as well as some plant monsters. Common problem with Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition is that there is a large cluster of creatures of certain types, like a lot of devils, a lot of dragons, a lot of giants, but you struggle for beasts and you struggle for plant monsters. That's not the case with Pathfinder 2nd Edition. You have a really good mix of, you got all kinds of things. You got planar beings, you got a lot of undead, you got a nice mixture of opponents. You got a nice mixture of various golems and swarm enemies. You got a sloth. So if your party is going through a jungle, you could run up against a 3-toed sloth. But you also have a Megatherium stat block here. Megatherium is basically a 10-foot tall, or it ranges between 9-foot tall and 11-foot tall sloth. Just simply huge. They can reach foliage up to 20 feet tall. Some of them got really big. They existed for a really long time. You've got a nice variety of sphinxes and other mythical beasts and spirit beasts, as well as other fun stuff. Throughout the entire book. So there is a guarantee, when it comes to Pathfinder 2nd Edition, if you buy a bestiary, you're going to find something in it that you like. At least a dozen things plus. Easy. There's typically 300 to 400 plus creatures in every bestiary book that Paizo produces. The official bestiary line. So there you go. In the very back of the book, I have to switch back to that. You got some zombies back there, some zombie dragon, but you have an ability glossary, which explains how abilities work for those creatures. Now, granted, it would have been nice to have these abilities integrated, the exact description of the abilities integrated into the stat block of the creature, so as that you don't have to learn and memorize all these abilities in the back of the book or flip to them very quickly to get the information how the ability works. And this is probably like the one reason why the bestiary books beat out the bestiary cards, the battle cards, is because it has this ability glossary in the back. If you know the abilities, you can just use the bestiary cards perfectly fine, no problem. Unless you want to go ahead and look up these rules on Archives and Nethys, which is not terribly hard. All you have to do is just type in the ability's name from the card, and then you put in Pathfinder 2E or P2 or E2E or something like that, and it should pop up lickety split, no problem. It's actually quite easy. And then when you go to Archives and Nethys, you can easily search for it on Archives and Nethys. It's not like D&D Beyond where you literally hope that Google gets you there, because if you misspell anything even slightly on Archives and Nethys, on Dungeons and D&D Beyond, you're totally screwed. So there you go. It has explanations on rarities, alignment, and other traits. It's in the back. And many more things. As well as unique weapons, weapon traits, rituals, languages, and creature type information for all the creatures in the book. So if, say, a creature has a unique spell, there'll be unique spells in it. If it has unique weapons, there'll be stat blocks for the unique weapons in the back of the book. If the creatures, you have a section on it by creatures by level, listing down. It will list the creature, the level, the category of the creatures in like a clockwork, a Euryptid, goblin, and so forth. Type traits like construct, animal, construct, animal, fey, and so forth. And rarity, and it gives you the page number right there. And then you keep going this way. You go through all that. And then you have the OGL back here, as well as, or the Orc license in the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remaster books, and an advertisement. This book is third in line for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, if you are going to buy Bestiary books, you go with Bestiary Book 1, straight out. And then Bestiary 2 and 3 is like either or. You have more swarm troop type enemies in this one, as opposed to Bestiary E2. But you also have a really nice variety in Bestiary 2. So, more classic and Cthulhian monsters in Bestiary 2, but then you have more swarm-type creatures in Bestiary 3. So, pick your poison after Bestiary 1. I would definitely place this in that 4+ star territory, maybe like 4.25. Bestiary 1 is 4.75. I've already covered that, and I went into more detail in that video on Bestiary 1, as well as detail into Bestiary 2 on that video. So if you want more information on that, go right over there and check those ones out. I hope you have a delightful day, a nice night, a wonderful weekend, magnificent month, and see you next time. Ciao.